I don't care where you at on your journey. Once you start growing, the more you have to keep going. And the more you start growing, the more you have to keep going. That's for somebody. Stay encouraged, stay motivated, and stay inspired. And I hope by hearing that, when you hear it, I hope you'll be able to do all those three that I just mentioned. Stay encouraged, stay motivated, and stay inspired. You hear me? And at the same time, while you're building it in you, be able to be of assistance to help somebody else that's trying to build it up in them. You hear me? That's the purpose. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't be sitting here. You hear me? And to be sitting here, the divine, life, God, source energy, angels, whatever we want to call it, it don't brought me through a lot of things. And some of the things that I don't been brought through, I couldn't get myself through. You hear me? So I had to have some type of intervention, you know, to get through it and able to be sitting right here. You hear me? You know, and and I ain't the only one. I'm talking to some reflections that share that same story. You hear me? You know, you probably don't saw it all too, and then all you don't saw, you had to go through some of it too. You hear me? From the heartless to the heartful, I saw it all. And I've saw the way I see for a long time, or I saw the way I see since a child, you know. So I started from ground level. You hear me? This ain't overnight. I started from ground level, and I had to believe in my own magic. I had to believe in my own abilities. I had to believe in my own creativity. I had to believe in my own insights. I had to trust my intuition, you know. I'm talking to somebody who needs to believe in their own magic today. You hear me? Hold on to you. And all this taking you through, hold on to you, you know, because your journey and the experiences that you have on your journey is going to expose you to yourself. You know, it's going to expose your magic to you. You hear me? So don't look for your magic nowhere else. I don't know who that's supposed to mean something to, but when you hear it, you'll know it's for you. When you hear it, you hear me? It's a beautiful journey, family. We couldn't even get to the best version of ourselves without having to go through, you know, some of the worst things in life. You hear me? And I don't have no complaint about that at all. You hear me? And once you do, I don't have no complaint about it, because once you get past it and you looking back at it, it don't look the same no more. And it don't look the same, and it don't look the same for all of us who don't been through the same things. You hear me? And it don't look the same for all of us who been through something different, you know? And it ain't gonna look the same way for all of us at all. You hear me? That's the beauty about perception, because it all allows us an ability, you know, to have something to share if we have something to offer, and we ain't just here for the sake of being here. You hear me? You know. So I want to encourage us to continue to be grateful for the experiences, whatever type of experiences we having the experiences that we having in the moment that we having it for a reason. You hear me? So glean the lesson from the reason of having the experience, so we don't find ourselves going through no experience for nothing, because any experience that we go through is not for nothing. You hear me? We meant to come out with something more than how we went into it, you know? You hear me? And I say that because you're a swell, you know? This social start media, man, we got to be careful how we move through it. You know, if you move through it. This the only area where you can find me on social media. You know, when I'm on social media, it's coming through to share a message, some life lessons, through whatever wisdom's gonna move through me. But yeah, man, we can't get tricked chasing for the social in the social stock market. You know, it's a bunch of runners and chasers. If you've been a runner or a chaser, then you know, because you'll swear we've been here living like perfect people. And if you ain't been living like perfect people, you'll understand this. At least the ones who admit they knowing this, that you ain't been living like perfect people. You'll swear we've been living here like perfect people, man. When you observe some of the imperfections in people that's trying to appear perfect, just to put on for appearance, or put up for the image. They say image is everything, don't it? But if we don't know what we seeing, when we seeing what we seeing, then what are we looking at? What are we looking at? Because in all that we see, it gives us an opportunity to make a choice, to pour something into ourselves, regardless of what we're looking at. So then the next question is, where are we looking from? Because that gives us an opportunity to reflect on what we have poured into ourselves, good, bad, or indifferent. You hear me? Something to think about, ain't it? I know. Imagine how what I be going through when this type of stuff be coming to me. You hear me? Prior to sharing it with you. You hear me? And before I share things like this with y'all on this type of platform, I was sharing things like this with myself. And amongst those who was in my inner circle. That's how I was able to reset my default settings. You don't listen, you're gonna miss it. In order to circle myself. But yeah, ain't nothing like having an identity of your own. You hear me? Ain't nothing like having an identity of your own. And for me, I established that through life cycles. I established that through my life experiences. You know what I mean? And I ain't know it then, but I know it now that it gave me a purpose. And our purpose usually has something to do with the obstacles that we have overcame. I'm gonna say it again. Our purpose usually, because a lot of people in the wrong profession just for the sake of a job, and I get that. But if we can get into the things that's dealing with some obstacles that we have overcame, we'll find ourselves being much more at home in whatever type of employment that we find ourselves in. I don't know who needed to hear that or who that was for, but I'm gonna say it again. Our purpose, we usually find our purpose through the things that we have overcame. Let that sink for a minute. We usually find our purpose through the things that we have overcame. We only know what we overcame by what we've been through. And through the things that I've been through, it allowed me to establish structure and discipline in my life. Who needs structure? Who needs more structure and discipline in their life? Because I ain't the only one. You hear me? Structure and discipline are important elements to me. Not only because I had to develop what structure and discipline would be within me, but it took structure and discipline to get me through all the things, you know, that I allow myself to be a channel and a messenger and a conduit and so forth, you know, in order to share these things that I do share when I share them. You hear me? You know, and the time is now. Everybody who come through ain't gonna get it. Everybody who come through ain't gonna understand. In total or in full, you know. But whoever come through gonna get something. You hear me? And even if you don't know how to address what needs to be addressed and confront what needs to be confronted according to what life sent you here to go through, I'm sure to some degree you're aware that most of us, if not all of us, have been given a task to some degree, no matter how large or small. We all been given a task, you know, to confront and correct certain, let me see, I'll say certain unhealthy generational and ancestral traits that's been passed on to us by overcoming them. You hear me? By overcoming them, by overcoming the unhealthy generational and ancestral traits, by raising them up and pruning. You hear me? And then replanting and redeveloping, you know. We gotta remix. We gotta remix what ain't right and make that right. You hear me? In the remix, you heard? Yeah, only a few recognize it and do something about it. You know, it's an honor for me to be sitting here and know that I'm one of them few. You know, I know that I'm one of them few. You hear me? You know. But our purpose usually has something to do with the things that we overcame. And that's where we will be the most effective in assisting others who may find themselves going through the same experiences that we have already overcame. You hear me? Why else would we be here? Why else would we be here? And if you here listening to me, why else would you be here? If this ain't meant for you. You know, they say image is everything, huh? But is the image really you? Is the image really us? Because I just said previous, ain't nothing like having an identity of our own, you know? And to absorb my divinity to higher degrees, to higher elevations, to higher ascensions, you know, in the mansion of dimensions, you know, I had to embrace the humanity in me. Somebody need to hear that, man, because we get way above ourselves and we ain't did the work for where we think we may be. You hear me? To absorb my divinity to my highest degree, I had to embrace the humanity in me. And it's a lot of people, you know, teaching a lot of things that really have embraced the humanity within themselves. And I ain't here to talk about them. I'm just here to make it known that I see it. You hear me? And it's just my reminder that I don't want to be like that in the social community and the whatever community. I don't want to be like that. So y'all, so for those who rock with me, you know, we accountable not only for ourselves, we're accountable for each other. Why else would I be sitting here if I didn't feel like I had some type of accountability for my fellow brothers and sisters? We need to pay more attention to who we listen to in the spaces that we listen to them at. You hear me? Yeah. It don't mean everybody gonna understand what they looking at. It don't mean everybody gonna comprehend what they listening to. But that don't stop me from doing it. You hear me? I'm able to say that because as a human form, as a divine being in human form of divine origin, I haven't always been the best son. I haven't always been the best brother. I haven't always been the best uncle. I haven't always been the best grandson. I haven't always been the best cousin. I haven't always been the best friend. You know, I haven't always been the best dad. Now y'all may be saying, what's my point? I haven't always been the best person. That's my point. And to put the nail on it, you haven't either. That's why I'm sitting here saying things, you know, to spark us. Every time I come through, you know, to get better than we never been, so we could be better than we ever been. You hear me? You know, it's steps from the world of becoming into the world of being. You know, it's steps. And the person I am today, I can say it satisfies me at minimum. At minimum. And I can take it way higher, but at minimum, it satisfies me to be able to say that I'm living life from my highest vibration. And I know that you can too. And if you're not right now, hopefully I just said something that inspired you to. You hear me? Structure and discipline, you know. We all given a task, you hear me? Even if we don't see it. I'm gonna go through a inner child oracle message right quick, you hear me? Stillness, abundance, good things, love, light, health, and wholeness to the Common Conscious family and soul tribe. You know, new subscribers, welcome to the family. You know, welcome back. You know, and welcome through. Peekaboos and passerbys, salute. You hear me? I hope y'all hear something that can make you a little bit better. You hear me? You heard? I hope y'all hear something that can make you a little bit better. And the card of the day is listen, and I couldn't make it up if I wanted to. You hear me? 25 come back to a 7. 7 deals with completion. But where are you at in your completion? Where are you at in the completion of your mind? Where are you at in the completion of your emotions? Where are you at in the completion of your spirituality? Where are you at in the completion of your physicality? Your health? Where are you at? How do you listen to those different portions, those different elements of your life, you know, as they're trying to instruct you? Your inner child has something to say. You hear me? My name is Samuel. Samuel in Hebrew means voice of God. Samuel in Hebrew means God has heard. Samuel in Hebrew means the name of God. You know, Samuel metaphysically represents the inner child in mankind. So I ain't sitting here doing this for a reason. I am my energy signature. You hear me? This is not by mistake, family. Our inner child is comprised of the many different aspects of childhood we experience growing up. That's why I take us there. That's why I'm able to take us to these places due to my connection with my inner child. It holds all the memories. Somebody need to hear that. There's a 1-year-old inner child, a 10-year-old inner child, an 18-year-old inner child, and an inner child for every age in between. Somebody need to hear that. At various times in our lives, different aspects of our inner child will need to be heard. This card indicates that an aspect of your inner child, one you may have not met with yet, maybe one you have left behind, has a message for you. Awareness exercise. Take time to connect with this new piece of you through inner visualization, responsive journaling, play, or intuitive art. Try to be open to what your inner child has to say. We just was on sit still. Be quiet. Many times in life, we repress aspects of our inner selves in a bid for safety. Don't worry about how people gonna think. You know, a lot of us don't became what people thought because we allowed their thoughts to matter more than our own. You hear me? Because of this, our inner child might bring unprocessed events and memories for us to work through as an adult. We call them dark nights of the soul, so forth and so on. If this occurs, be gentle with yourself and have patience. These memories and events will most likely be sensitive in nature because of how long our inner child has carried the pain of that moment. Give yourself plenty of time to sit with whatever comes up. Setting aside the practice of processing these old memories if it becomes too overwhelming, or seeking professional help as needed. Responsive journaling prompt. Is there an aspect of your inner child that you do not wish to meet? Is there a way to create space for that aspect to come forward today? Holla at me for a therapeutic session if needed. You hear me? I know a lot of things. You hear me? But that concludes the message for today. Listen, your inner child has something to say. That concludes the message for today. We're gonna put an ear. We're gonna put an ear for the emoji in the comment section. For this raffle submission, we're gonna put an ear, because that's what I'm being instructed to do from within. Your inner child has something to say. You gotta listen. We're gonna put an ear in the comment section for the raffle submission. Y'all know about the raffle. Watch the video, place the emoji, which is the ear in the comment section. That will be your raffle submission. Simple as that. Otherwise, feel good for no reason at all. Feeling good is feeling God. That's a divine birthright. Other than thanks for the likes, shares, comments, questions, love offers, donations, purchases, so forth and so on. Continue to be you, and I'm gonna be me. You hear me? Move forward. Move in love. You hear me? My name is Sabu.